hangs in the refectory of the Church of Santa Maria del Grazia in Milan. It is very interesting that Rembrandt was a great inventor, a great considerator of pursuing new technological marvels, of redeveloping a new technology involving paint materials, and Da Vinci was exactly the same. The Last Supper by Leonardo da Vinci is not, strictly speaking, a fresco. It is a watercolor painting, a water-based painting, painted onto dry plaster. And Leonardo, being a great experimenter, began to add other sorts of materials and media. He began to add things like gum arabic and even primitive forms of paraffin. And the result was, within probably about 15 years, the great Italian critic Vasari suggested that the painting was falling off the wall. And in a curious way, it's been falling off the wall ever since. So the painting, not only an enormously important international art treasure, but one which was very, very febrile, very, very sensitive to the notion of time, to the notion of decay. Well, we did our magic. I say we, not to reproduce the manner of presentation by the Queen of England, but certainly I cannot ever do these things myself, so of course we had a very, very strong and very, very experienced team of people to be able to help us. And what I wanted to do then was, in a curious way, to project Leonardo da Vinci's Last Supper on itself. So not on a reproduction, not on a facsimile of any kind, but onto the real thing. So there could be a sensation of a true dialogue between the notions of cinema and painting. We were out to make a demonstration, not only how extraordinary this painting is. In a way, the painting is so familiar, we tend to brush it aside, trying to pretend we know about it. For most of us, it's much more applicable as an image we might find on a tea towel or a Christmas card. But when you actually go to see the thing, and it is huge and commanding, and it dominates the architectural space it existed in. Leonardo deliberately understood the space of that refectory, and where better than to depict a Last Supper in a meal-eating place like a refectory. And he bases his perspective lines and the weight, indeed, of the actual physical Last Supper table very much within the architectural boundaries of the space it was intended for. The perspective lines not only delineate the table and the window space and the characters that are seated within it, but they are extended to continue with the perspective lines of the building. And if you are prepared, I suppose, to believe in certain mystic responsibilities, it is said that if you reproduce the perspective lines, indeed, of the painting and the refectory, and extend them outside the church, and take them all the way across Italy, you can predict the exact position of the Eiffel Tower. And if you want to play this game even further, apparently you can cross the Atlantic, and it predicates, and remember the painting is painted in 1498, the actual position of the Twin Towers in New York. Well, that's for you to believe if you wish so. I'm quite entertained by that idea, but it's also an indication of the enormous amount of responsibility and mysticism, if you like, but power of, I suppose, visual literate authority, which is commanded by that painting.